Hi Gemini, welcome back to the channel. It's me Anisa from the Inner Stereo. So today we're going to be looking at your love messages. It's a general reading, so the roles might get reversed, or it may or may not resonate with you. And if it does, there's going to be a link down in the description box below for the extended and personal reading with me, okay? Take a deep breath here, Gemini. Ooh. Okay, so in your overall energy, you have the Two of Wands. What is challenging you? You have the Three of Cups. I do feel that the challenges when it comes to this connection has a lot to do with you questioning if people actually have the best interests at heart. You do, however, have fallen into the trap of familiarity, but now you're starting to question, like, does the person that I'm dealing with, does this person has my best interests at heart? We're going to clarify in a moment, okay? Because something here is broken. When the Three of Cups shows up in a challenging position, it means that something here is broken. It's either the friendship aspect of the connection is broken or the trust in itself. It's like when you trust your best friend, it's broken, okay? For some of you, maybe 5% of you, it indicates also the fact that there might be a third-party situation. But again, this is a general reading. I really do not like to throw the third-party situations out there, recklessly. Now, in the past, this person has the Ace of Wands and the Seven of Wands. From your side, you got the Moon, and you also have the Justice. I do feel that in the past, you were trying to solve some sort of problem, or you're trying to solve a puzzle because things just doesn't make sense to you. And again, I always say this in every air signs reading that I do, is one of the best best traits of air signs is the fact that they're so mental, right? That you guys are so logical. But what are your weaknesses has a lot to do with you needing to always find the answer. And without you realizing it, the more that you try to find an answer, or whenever you're dealing with somebody who is so puzzling, it takes up so much time, it takes up so much of your energy without you realizing it. You're forming either a toxic bond or a trauma bond with this person. Okay, we're going to clarify. This person is being very defensive about it. I feel that there's something here that you guys wanted to know in the past, but this person is kind of like quite trying to deflect it with bringing something new into it. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, for instance, there is a question that has been unanswered and you're trying to communicate or you're trying to converse with this person. Instead of addressing it, they became defensive and they're like, oh, do you know, there's a cool, hangout spot that I just heard. Maybe we should check that out. Or, how about we do this? There's always that deflection happening. We're going to clarify, yeah? Now, in the present moment, they have the Star and also the Page of Wands. From your side, you got the Five of Cups and you also have the Hangman. So you got the Three of Cups in your overall challenge, remember? Now, this Five of Cups is very interesting because it's very different than the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, whereas this person is acknowledging the fact that, that Three of Cups is spilled. Now, I'm still holding that Two of Cups in my hand. I'm ready to let this go. So now you are taking a step back to think, just to think. This person sees you as their wish fulfillment and they very much so wanting to be hearing from you, okay? Later, I'm going to clarify because I wanted to say something, but later I'm going to clarify, okay? Now, in the future, they have the Five of Wands and the Eight of Cups. From your side, you have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and you also have the Queen of Cups. I feel that in the future, you guys are going to be so much focusing on your own emotional stability. Because I do see this person is going to try to do something to get your attention that might have an impact on either your routines, your work, your money. Okay, let's clarify. I want to clarify. So I'd like to clarify the Star and the Five of Cups. I hope you find some peace of mind in this time. So Five of Cups from your side clarified by the Ace of Wands, the Temperance in reverse, and the Four of Cups. You're running out of patience here, honey. And you feel the need to strongly protect yourself. Again, there's a lot of contemplation that you guys are doing right now. Have I been fooled? Have I been way too optimistic? Have I been way too hopeful? Have I only be seeing this person for their best potentials instead of the reality of who they are? Now, from them, again, like I said, you are their wish fulfillment. You are their dream girl or their dream man. However, I do feel that this person is strategizing, writing, or thinking of every possible ways to answer the question that you want to ask them. Because they're aware of that. This is not somebody who is oblivious to the fact that you haven't gotten the clarity that you're looking for. That this person is not oblivious to the fact that you are still wondering about things. And now they're kind of like quite strategizing about like, what am I gonna do when Gemini asks me this? Or what am I gonna do when Gemini asks me that? Page of Wands, clarified by the Ace of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. Hanged Man, clarified by the Four of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. Now you're much more in the energy of like, I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait. You're playing this very strategically too right now, because instead of asking, or instead of being the one who does things first, you would rather wait and see what this person is going to do. A part of you truly wants to still either reconcile, collaborate, work together with this person. But yeah, Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups, you're very guarded right now. Something is broken here. Now, Page of Wands, clarified by the Ace of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. Like I said, this person is strategizing about like, I just feel that this person is being very defensive. And a bit deceitful. Now, Seven of Swords could be about anything, right? But it's deceit. It could be, again, like I said, about a third-party situation. If there was ever a third-party situation that you know, this person is going to try to deflect it. If it isn't about that, it could be about, I don't know, about you questioning about their work, and maybe they're embarrassed to tell you that something is problematic with their work. Like, it's just something that they want to hide here. Square for the future. Five of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Where do I begin? So the thing is that I feel that this person has fell off of your pedestal. I think you're no longer putting this person in that position. Like, whoa, you're the greatest. Like, oh my God. Like, no longer there. To a point that now you're realizing that even their feeble attempt to repair, their effort to work on this relationship, it's not satisfactory for you. You're not satisfied with it. Instead, you're disappointed. There's something also you about regretting the time that you spent dealing with this connection, especially if this is a relationship that has been going on for months or years. Like, you're regretting, like, oh my God, like the past few months or the past few years, how could I ever allow myself to be put in this position? Let's clarify the Eight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. You could be dealing with the Pisces here because Pisces has a similar energy where just one more clarity, Anisa, just one more closure, Anisa, just one more information, Anisa, just one more. And then I'm going to make my final decision. And then I'm going to either be with them or be without them. Like, but I just need one more. That is your energy. So in the future, this person is going to be sending a lot of mixed signals. One minute they feel they seem to be so invested in this, right? Like with the Eight of Pentacles, but then they have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So I really need you to be aware of the fact that there might be, if they ever tell you something about promises or whatever, right? Like to not really believe it 100%, but just wait if they then be consistent in fulfilling those promises. So inconsistent though. Now from them, this person is stressed out, man. This person is so stressed out over this whole situation. And I do feel that this person is going to throw some sort of tantrum in the future in a way that because it's ego based, it's like fuck this, like I don't care about it anymore, or I'm going to leave now. Yeah, but it comes not from a place because they really want to, but it's more so because they're just not afraid to face the reality and to be honest. Because I feel that this person in the past has been very defensive. In the present moment, this person has been very defensive to a point where they're creating that narrative instead of their head, that I feel that eventually in the future, they start to believe the narrative that they're telling themselves in their head. There's a certain justification here about why I'm not being totally honest with Gemini or why I did that. There is a justification here. And I do feel that in the future, this person is going to be throwing some sort of tantrum. Quite dramatic too, I should say. Could be like suddenly blocking you, or suddenly, you know, when you guys are in the middle of the fight and it's like, I'm done with this, like something like that. But it's not because they're truly done, but it's more because they're overwhelmed with all of this emotions that they have. I mean, look at this. You, however, in the future, I just don't feel that this is going to hurt you, though, Gemini. I feel that you coming up here with the Queen of Cups, I mean, this isn't going to hurt you because I feel that the hurt has already happened. All right, so I'm going to be taking this all to the extended. I'm going to be clarifying a whole lot because your person is quite complicated. But anyway, let's get into your advice here, Gemini. You have the High Priestess. Five of Cups in reverse, the Four of Wands, and also the Four of Cups. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the After Tarot deck, right? So it's very different than the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. What's interesting for me is how I'm looking at the position of the Four of Wands and also the Four of Cups. I feel that you dreamed big about this connection, didn't you? Either you dreamed of the perfect wedding that you might have with this person, the perfect house, the perfect happily ever after with this person, and all that stuff. So it's saying that instead of focusing on what could have, what if, my dreams about these connections, and damn, like that means that I have to kill that dream. How about you balance spirituality and practicality? Instead of staying loyal to history or staying loyal to your hopes and dreams, how about you stay loyal to how the reality is? Because when the Five of Cups right there in reverse is showing up in every advice section, I always say this. Sometimes it's okay for us to start pitying people, but not at the expense of our own inner peace. Because I feel that you, Gemini, you pity this person. There's a part of you who's like, but if I am not there for them, who is going to be there for them, Anisa? I'm the only person who loved this person with their, flaws as well. And who is going to love this person? Like, bro, how about you take that type of love to yourself? Okay? But anyway, I think that is it from reading for you here, Gemini. I hope that you find tons and tons of clarity that you've been looking for. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Have a great day. I love you.